Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pickett's Pokemon. Today we're going to be talking about something a little different today, but it still is very warranted. Which way is Metapod facing? Now, I'm going to be talking about my top three theories of which way I think he's facing, and a little bit of detail on maybe some theories and why I think that based on those evidence from TV shows or the way it's facing on the cards or things that I have seen personally from my life. So I'm going to be putting a poll in the comments as well. So please feel free to comment on that and let me know what you think. Anyway, welcome to the video.
Little more! Metapod! Full power!
What an amazing clip. This is just absolutely blasting with nostalgia too. This is just after Ash leaves Pallet Town and he finally gets to the forest and he encounters the samurai who challenges him to his first, I guess, official trainer battle. And previously the samurai had mentioned he had fought and challenged Gary and all the other Pallet Town people that took all the trainers or all the starter Pokemon before Ash was left with Pikachu. So this is a pretty important scene. And I think this first theory is pretty straightforward. Even though it looks like they are facing each other, the two Metapods, because they're dueling, I don't know. It just seems to me like they're facing each other's trainers. So where that point is, which I don't know if it's Metapod's nose, I guess which it would be in this theory. The eyes are facing each of the Samurai and Ash. Then Metapod would be facing inside the body, would be facing towards the trainers as well. So that's my first theory. And if you can see, kind of like here has a little description of like or a little arrow showing which way I think he's facing, and then also just based on like the old video games too, it kind of looks like he was facing you the whole time as well, in that same direction. So that's my first theory. This is the second theory, and I think this is the strongest theory, and we can see through the way Butterfree is or Metapod is evolving into Butterfree outside of the Metapod shell. It looks like where the point is, you can kind of see it's like coming out backwards like this, which would mean to me that it was already facing towards the non-point side or the non-nose, what we're going to call it, area. Now, I would say this is the strongest case. I mean, I know like maybe it was because like the way that crack happened was because a pincer like cracked it open just a little bit when that kind of they fought, or I don't know, maybe he's just like in that way, but like just based on the way Butterfree comes out, I would say that's the strongest evidence for me to show that even though the eyes might be facing the left side towards the nose or the point of the shell, that he or she, Butterfree, would be facing the opposite direction and then evolving out backwards through that point of the shell. That's theory two. Okay, so theory three, I don't have any more clips for this, and I feel like this one might be a little bit more controversial, but I had the theory that what if, since it's a bug, I feel like eyes can kind of move all sorts of directions with geckos and lizards and other bugs and other sorts of creatures. That what if it worked like it doesn't matter which way the shell was facing, the body is kind of intact one specific way, but the eyes can move independently, kind of in a 360 manner. So if we're looking at this first card, which was from the original base set, we can kind of see that it's like, it's not really, it's looking one way, and then we look at compare it with this a same Metapod card from the what is it 151 set that's more modern, and it's looking a different way. It looks like it's looking at you from the other side of the point. And then if we compare that as well with like the way Butterfree came out, as well as like again to the first theory where we said they were facing this way, but the shells were facing each other. I feel like the eyes could be just maybe independent, and maybe that is the shell is like theory two, or the body, where it does actually come out that way. It wasn't just because of the crack on the side of the shell, but maybe the eyes just move independently, and that's where the body comes out. you can kind of get that. I just think that might be the case just because uh, the everything you look at from cards to shows, like the eyes, I feel like are always in a different spot, and the point of view is always different. Maybe that was the artist's intent, maybe the creators of Pokemon and the artists behind the cards decided, it doesn't matter. We want the viewer, me or you, to be looking at the card in whichever way this person is looking at this. The view, the eyes should be facing that, which is maybe why the TV show, the eyes are facing the trainers when they're dueling, as well as like in the cards, it looks like they're looking at you and the game as well. That's my third theory. I think it's more likely it's the second one, but let me hear your comments and feedback in the comments. And I would love to start like a little conversation going about what everybody thinks. I'm going to put a poll down in the comments as well. Be sure to answer that. Let's get to the bottom of this. Which way is Metapod facing? Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.